Hi Year 3, good morning, happy Tuesday. We had our live lesson for squirrels yesterday with Mrs. Gray, so we hope you all managed to get some of your times table work done yesterday. And today we are starting our new topic in maths, which is all to do with money. Now, this is the first time we have done money in Year 3. We've not done any money work before. We're going to add a little bit of a practical element this week if we can. If you're not able to do that, there is an alternative. The alternative can be used as extra if you want extra work, or you can do the practical or the worksheet based alternative. You are not expected to do both. If there are two options, you only have to do one of those options this week. So we're going to start with money, but before we crack on with our new topic, we're going to get our maths brains into gear, and we're going to start with a 5 a day, and that just revises some of the things we've already covered and gets our mathematical brain ticking ready for our lesson. Okay, so you will need to have your 5 a day ready, which is in the OneDrive folder. It looks like this. You can have it printed off, or you can have it you can just have it on the screen and write the answers down. Whichever way you wish to do it, pause me, give yourself no more than 10 minutes, and then come back to me. Be honest, if you don't know the answer, just leave it blank. Good luck. Okay, hope you all got on okay with that. So revising a few things that we have already covered, and a little bit of a few little new things in there, but I'm hoping it will show me what you already know. So we're going to start with this one here. I'm going to stop the share just for a moment. So it says that Jen saved 10p every day for a week. How much did she have? Okay, so 10p every day for a week. So we need to know a few things here, don't we? We know that she's got 10p. Luckily, you can all count in tens, which is marvellous. And for a week, so how many days are there in a week? You should all know this. We've covered this in our time topic. There are 7 days in a week. 10p times 7. How much did she save in a week? She saved 70p. Remember, we must have this unit on here to know what it is we are working in, which bit of measure that we're using. It's really important we put these on the end. 70p, otherwise it could be 70 sausages, 70 magazines, 70 apples. It could be anything. So remember, you've got to get that on there. Okay, 70p. Well done. Nice and simple to begin with. Okay, looking at the next question. Half of 36 is. Okay, so half of 36. Now, there's 2 ways you could have done this. You might just know it off in the top of your head, which is brilliant. But remember, it's good to show you working out. 36. And I want to find out, firstly, half of 30 is 15. Half of 6 is 3. So 15 and 3, I've done it like part whole here, which isn't quite right. 36, so half of 30 is 15, half of 6 is 3, and then put the 15 and the 3 together, giving me half of 36 is 18. If you knew that 36 divided by 2 was 18, because 18 times by 2 is 36, then that's marvellous as well. Well done. That's how I would do it. I'd always partition it if I wasn't 100% sure on there. Okay, next question is round. Now, we haven't done much rounding in year 3. Round 54 to the nearest 10. Now, we haven't done much rounding. Let me just turn this upside down. So 54 is my number. And I want to know which 10 goes on either side of 54. My tens numbers, counting in tens. Well, I know that it would be 50 here, and it would be 60 here. So now I'm going to look at my ones digit. If it is 4 or less, we round it down. If it is 5 or more, I would round it up to the next 10. So the digit is 4. So the rule is 4 or less, we round it down. 5 or more, we round it up. So you should have written to the nearest 10, 50, because the ones digit is 4 or less. Well done if you got that right. And if you didn't, don't worry, we can come back and do some more work on that again. Okay, next question. What is the value of the underlined number in 657? And the 5 is underlined. What is the value of that 5? What is the value? Well, if I put these headers on here, I've got my hundreds, my tens and my ones. 600 would be the value of this number. 7 would be the value of this number because it's just 7 ones. So what would the value of this be? Well done. It is 50. Same answer as the last one. Or you could have written 5 tens, I suppose. 50 or 5 tens is the value of that number in the 657. Well done if you got that one right. Remember to give yourselves a tick. And the last one. Today is Monday. What was the day 2 days ago? Well, it's not Monday today, so that's even more confusing. It's Tuesday today. Let me just wipe this off. Monday today. What was the day 2 days ago? You might want to write it out, and you could do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, like that to help you out. Here's Monday. Well, there's one day before, which would have been Sunday. 2 days before would have made it Saturday. Day. Spelt right, I hope. Saturday was the day. Well done if you got that right. Give yourself a score out of 5. We've been receiving some wonderful scores from your 5-a-days, and we know that you're being really honest, which is perfect. So well done. Send your scores across if you want to. You don't have to. And then we're going to get ready to start with our money topic. So pop your things away and get ready for our lesson. Today, we are learning to revise the currency that we use. That's the money that we use in the UK, in the United Kingdom, and especially in England, in our country. And to revise the coins that we use and different ways we can make amounts with those coins. So just to begin with, I'm going to show you a short video clip about currency and how it's used. So let me just share the screen. What is currency? You can find this on the BBC Bite Size website if the noise isn't quite right. If you just type it in, what is currency, BBC Bite Size, if it doesn't work for your screen.
Hey, Brain, have you got a spare pound I can borrow? Brain? Oh, no, I don't want to spend it, Brain. I want to convert it. Brain? Well, Brain, have you ever wondered what money is like in other countries? Cervello. In most of Europe, instead of the pound, they use the euro. Brain? But if you were to change your pound into a euro, you get more than €1 back. Brain! That is because of something called the exchange rate. The exchange rate is how we work out the value of one currency when it is turned into another. It is changing all the time between each country. Yeah, Brain! Oh. Lots of different countries have their own currencies, and they all have their own exchange rates. Phew! I'm keeping your pound, by the way, Brain. Brain! Only pulling your leg, you scamp. Brain!
Okay, so that just really, really briefly tells us what currency is. And currency is our money. And in the UK and in England, we use the pound coin, pounds and pennies. That is our currency. As you can see, there are different countries that use different currencies. So in Italy and France, they use the euros, and cents is theirs instead of pennies. And the same in America, they use cents as well. And they use dollars is their currency. So there's all different currencies all around the world. And just like the brain was being explained to, if I have £1 in English currency and I want to convert it into a different currency, I may get more for my pound or less for my pound, depending on where I'm going and which currency I'm changing to. So I'm going to set you a little challenge just for a minute. How many coins are there in the English currency? How many coins are there? Pause me for a minute, jot it down on a piece of paper. How many different coins are there in our currency? Come back to me when you've jotted it down. I hope you managed to remember all of the different coins. In today's society, currency is used less and less, especially with everything that is going on in the world at the moment. There is a lot more of a push for using our digital ways of paying, so contactless, Apple Pay, and things like that are now more convenient and easier for people to use. And currency, money, is being used less and less. Now, we've had currency in our country in the world for a very, very long time, and it's really, really a good way of exchanging and using money to pay for things. And so where we can, it is nice, especially if we're shopping in small little shops, local shops or farmers markets, that we use money to pay if we can, because it's something that we've used for years and years and years. And I'm a bit old-fashioned in that way. I quite like that we can still use money. I think sometimes we get carried away with technology, and it's much easier to click a button or to zap a card. But it's also important that we keep some of our traditions, and we've used money for such a long time. So if you manage to get all of your coins, fantastic. I hope that you started with the smallest coin that we have in our currency, which is the 1p coin. And I've got one just here in front of me, a small bronze coloured, it's more like a brown colour now, bronze coloured coin, my 1p coin. There it is. That's the smallest currency that we have. The next currency is our 2p coin. I've got one of those here. Now you're going to have to go on a hunt for all of these as well. You're going to need these for today's practical activity. My 2p coin is a bit bigger than the penny. There it is. It's got a number 2 on it, so you can see, to show the 2p, bronze coloured. Bit bigger, but similar in colour to the 1p coin. Now, you would think now it would make sense for the next coin to get bigger again, but our next coin is bigger in value, 5p, but it's actually the smallest coin that we have in our currency. It's our 5p. There's the Queen's head on one side. Does it say 5 on it? It says it in words. I think you can just make it out there. 5 pence. It hasn't got the number, it's got the word 5. And that's the smallest coin that we have, but it's not the smallest value. 5p. Okay, and it's silver. Our next coin, which is also silver, is our 10p coin. Here it is here, 10p, and it actually says 10 on it somewhere. Let me show you. Can you see 10 pence? Oh no, am I showing you the wrong word? Oh no, I am. 10 pence. It's back to front for me. 10 pence there, and the Queen's head on the other side. So slightly bigger than the 5 pence. It's a very similar size to the 2 pence. In fact, if I hold them together, actually the 2 pence is a little bit bigger still, only very, very slightly. You can just see the outline of the 2p, look. Okay, so but very similar size. Then we do quite a big jump then to our 20 pence coin. Now, our 20 pence coin changes again because its shape changes. And it is actually a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think. Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, a 7-sided shape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7-sided shape. I thought it was an 8-sided shape. And on here, it's got, again, the words 20 pence. I don't know if you can see that. It's at the top there, 20 pence at the top. Okay, so it's a different shape. That's our next coin. And it's silver as well. Our next coin gets bigger again, but it's also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a 7-sided shape as well. I don't know what made me think it was an octagon. It's not an octagon. Is our 50 pence piece, and it says 50 on there, not the number, the word 50. There we go. It's nice and shiny, that one. Queen's head on that side. A 50 pence piece is our next coin up, 50 pence. Then we do another big jump, and this time we mix gold and silver to use our £1 coin. There it is there. You can see a mix of silver and gold, and it actually says £1 on it at the bottom. £1. And turn it over. The Queen's head is on all of our coins to show it is from, it is our currency. There we go. Now there is another coin. but I don't have one of these, and we don't use them as often. They're the newest coin to arrive in our currencies, the £2 coin, which is very similar to the one, but it's bigger and rounder. And I haven't got one of those at home, so I do apologise for that. But these are all of our coins that we have in our currency. So if you got it right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 coins in our currency. We know that there are also some notes in our currency, but we'll come back to that a little bit later in the week. Now, as I said to you a minute ago, for today's practical lesson, you are going to need one of each of these coins if you can. So go and have a hunt for them. I've got mine here, look. I've got a 1p, a 2p, just like I've showed you, a 5p, a 20p, a 50p, a 10p, and my pound coin, all here ready for my practical activity today. So if you haven't got those already, you're going to need them if you're going to do the practical element, which would be really good for you to have a go at, I think. And you'll also need some paper. I've got some plain paper here. You will also need a crayon. I've got one here, or a pencil crayon, and a pencil as well. So today we are learning to make different amounts using our currency, our coins. Okay, so I'm just going to stick my piece of paper up on here. What we're going to do today, now you've got a list that is saved in the OneDrive folder. Then in that list, there is a list of, I think, 11 amounts. If you're in the circles group, you only have to choose 6 of those and start at the top and work down. If you're in squares, start at the top, you can do 8 of those, and hexagons, you can do them all. Okay, and you can do them in any order, hexagons, if you wish to. So I'm going to do one with you to show you what I mean. We are using our coins to make different amounts. Now, there are various ways you can make amounts using all the different coins, but you get to choose which one you want to do. So I've got my piece of paper. Now, you're going to have to do this flat on a table. So it's a bit hard for me to show you exactly when it's not flat, so I'm going to do it up on here. In fact, I might just move this piece of paper up a little bit higher. Cover up those coins for a minute. There we go. So I'm going to imagine that my first amount that I need to make using my coins is the amount 34p. So using my coins, I need to think about how can I make that amount. So 34p. Well, I could use a 10p coin. I know how to count in tens. I could use 10, 20, 30 first to make my 30p. So I'm going to put my 10p that I've collected from around the house underneath on my paper. I'm going to get my crayon and I'm going to make a rubbing of it just underneath there. Now, it's harder for me if I put it down flat while I do it, because it's better to have it flat. Just hard for me to show you. I'm going to make a rubbing of it. You have to hold it quite still. 10p. 20p. Much harder to do when it's not on the table. 30p. I will show you this in a minute, children. So I've chosen to do 10, 20, 30. There are other ways you could have done it, because we have a 20 pence piece, don't we? So you could have done 20 pence and then a 10 pence. You could have used 5p's if you wanted. So you can just make out there. So I've done a 10p, a 10p, and a 10p rubbing there. So I've got 10, 20, 30. I've now got to make 4p. Now I could do this in different ways. I could do 4 pennies, 1, 2, 3, 4, or I could do 2 4p. I'm going to put that underneath. I'm going to change my colour crayon now because I'm using a different coin. Do another rubbing. If you're lucky enough to do a good rubbing, you'll see the letters 2p or 10p. But I'm doing this quite quickly. I wish you could see what I was doing as I'm doing it. So I'm just literally rubbing over the top, and it's making a print of my coin. A rubbing, a coin rubbing. So you can just about see it there. So I've done it in yellow, silly colour to use when I want to show you. So I've got 2p and I've got 2p. Now if I check 10, 20, 30, 32, 34p, I've made my 34p. Now there are other ways you could have done that. That's just one way you could do it. If you want to do one way and then do another way for each amount, that's amazing. You can have a go at that. So I could have done 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And then I could have done 4 1p's, 1, 2, 3, 4, and written them underneath. When you've done that, get your ruler or get to piece something that can make a straight line. And you've finished your first one, draw a line across like so. I don't know if it's hard for you to see. Let me do it in pen. The lighting's not great, so let me just do it in pen to make sure you can see it properly. Draw a line to show you finished that one, and then do your next one. Now, I wrote that quite big there because I wanted you to see it. So let's pretend my next amount is 61p. I'm now going to do my rubbings underneath here. So 61, how can I make 61? Well, I could do 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Or I could use my 20p, 20p, 40p, 60p. So I could do 3 20s. So I'm going to put it underneath on my piece of paper, change my colour again. Do a rubbing of that coin, and I'll be able to see a different shape now because it's a 20p. I'll be able to see that slightly different shape. So I need 3 of these, 20p, 40p, 60p. Now, if you're much more careful than me, your rubbings will look perfect. You're going to hold it quite still. Now, we did this actually when the children were asked to stay at home last year. They're now in year 4. They did this exact activity, and they loved it. They really loved it. And then so I've got 20p, 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 so that's 20, 40, 60p, and then I need 1 more p, so I can get my 1p, put it underneath, do my rubbing. Oh, the 1p looks good because you can actually see the number 1 on it. 1p, there it is there, and right, 1p, so just check 20, 40, 60, 61p. I've made 61p with my rubbings. Again, what you could do to challenge yourself is think, oh, I'm gonna make it in a different way now. So for each one, you could make it in 2 different ways. That would be good. Underneath there, and when you've done that, get your ruler or something straight, draw a line underneath, and then do your next one underneath. So you may need to turn over and do some on the back as well. You may need a few pieces of blank paper because you've got quite a few to get through. Now, don't forget, I've done mine quite big here because I want you to be able to see it. You don't have to do it as big as me. So you could put your number up here and have your rubbings. You could probably get 4 on a page probably. So each of you today are going to use your coins to make different amounts using our currency that we use in England. Remember, you've got to do one way, and to challenge yourself, think of a different way to make the same amount. Okay, so 2 different amounts for each one. Okay, hexagons, you're doing all of the ones on the list. Squares, you are doing 8 of the amounts on the list, start at the top and work down, and circles, you're doing 6 on the list. So these are the things you're going to need: crayons, coins, paper. You don't have to write any date or any, well, the date might be helpful so you remember when you did it, but you don't need to write the Walt on there or anything. You just need to get your work done like this. And this task today, children, is our marked task. Sorry, it's not a test. Our marked task. So we want to see all of your wonderful rubbings and all your different ways of making different amounts today. And we've started nice and simply, and we wanted to make it a little bit fun, a bit more creative as well. And we know that last year the children loved doing this, so we hope that you enjoy it as well. So send us your work so we can give you some feedback. And we can't wait to see all the different ways that you make these amounts. So that's your task for today. Now, like I said at the beginning, there is an alternative to this. And the only reason you need to do the alternative is if you are not able to do it in this way. So if you don't have coins or crayons or whatever it might be, there is another option. The other option can be done if your parents want you to do extra work today. That can be used for that, but it is not expected. We don't expect you to do both pieces of work today. You either do it like this or you do it the way I'm going to show you. So I'm just going to share the screen with you and open up what some of you may do. Now, I've only opened the hexagons page because you've all got the same. Each group's got the same, just different amounts. Just make this a bit smaller. Okay, so that's the hexagon sheet there now. It's the 3-star sheet. So what you have to do is the same, Walt, is you have to circle the coins that would make this amount at the start here, or colour them in. So you've got that activity to do there. That's if you can't do the practical activity for each group. So that's hexagon, squares and circles. You've got that as well. Going back to the practical lesson, this is your sheet that you've got with just the amounts on. So for this activity, they're the amounts that I want you to make, these amounts. So circles, you're making 6 of them, squares 8, and then hexagons, all of them. So you've all got loads to be getting on with today, and I'm hoping that you have fun doing your rubbings or your alternative worksheet if that is what you're going to do today. Let me just stop that share because we don't need that anymore. You've got lots to do. Get going, and we can't wait to see your amounts. Enjoy. Oh, and before I forget, year 3, if you have still got time after doing all of that, on Education City, there are 3 different games that you can have a go at, which practices this same skill. They are called Show Me the Money, Penny Sweets, or Squids In. We haven't set any scorecards, or it's not in any order. You can do that as and when. You can do all 3 of them. You can do 1 of them. It's up to you to finish your lesson today. So that's set in your Education City area. That's me done for today, and I'll see you tomorrow to do some more work on money. Bye now.